Russia would be making an incredibly serious mistake if we're to use a tactical nuclear weapon. I'm not guaranteeing you that it's a false flag operation yet. Don't know. But it would be a serious, serious mistake.
The president with a very stern warning for Russia. But this week, his strategy in Ukraine has been under debate within his own party. And today, the Congressional Progressive Caucus actually retracted a controversial letter that called on Biden to directly negotiate with Russia. Caucus Chair Pramila Jayapal accepted responsibility, but called it a staffer error. California Congressman Khanna is one of the Democrats who signed that letter and is still backing it. Congressman, what in the world happened here?
Let me tell you my position. I have voted for every package to arm Ukraine. I will continue to vote to arm Ukraine.
But what happened with this? Well, signed the letter, didn't sign the letter? It was a staffer. How does this happen?
I don't think the staff was to blame. I think the letter is common sense. We're going to stand with Ukraine, but at the same time, we're going to have diplomacy to try to end the war. You know who tweeted out that just today? Ambassador McFaul, who is one of the strongest advocates for standing with Ukraine. You know, people need to look at the history. When we armed the Mujahideen in Afghanistan, did President Reagan stop talking to the Russians? Absolutely not. One of the reasons we got the withdrawal of the Russians is we continued to negotiate. When we had the height of the Cold War, did our senior military stop talking to the Russian military? Absolutely not. These people on Twitter, have they spoken to General Dunford? Because I have. Have they spoken to Admiral Mullen? Have they spoken to the senior military leaders? They have no idea what they're talking about. I'm on the Armed Services Committee. I don't want us to have a nuclear war, and I trust the president's judgment.
Congressman, I'm not arguing any of the points. What I'm asking is, you got 2 weeks to go before the midterms. Do Democrats need these kind of messy, unforced errors right now? Republicans, love him or hate him, even those who privately despise Donald Trump, when they need to get in line and fight Democrats, they all get in line behind him. Do Democrats need to have their eye on the ball right now?
Well, look, the letter that I signed was in July. Do I think that it should have been released now? No. But you know who made an issue of it is all of those folks on Twitter. What they should have done is to have the judgment of people like Ambassador McFaul, who would have said, of course we need to stand with Ukraine. Is there any person in that letter who's saying we're going to stop the funding? No. That's Kevin McCarthy's position. But are you telling me that the Democrats shouldn't be for force and diplomacy? We're a party of responsibility. And by the way, I have talked to senior leaders at the White House. I have said the president has one of the best judgments on this. And my guess is that the president himself would agree that we need to have this kind of diplomacy.
So let's talk about the next 2 weeks. What do Democrats need to focus on? It's go time.
The economy. Look, we're winning on reproductive rights as a human right. Oz made a terrible gaffe today that's going to cost it. We're winning on voting rights. But we've got to win the economy, and we've got such a simple case to make. We're bringing manufacturing home. We're actually helping the working class. They're running on Trussonomics. They're literally running on what bankrupted the British. They're saying that they want tax cuts. They're saying they want to cut Social Security. How are we not winning the economic argument when they're running on exactly what Britain did?
You make the best point. How are we not winning on the economic argument? You're the ones who have taken us from the depths of the pandemic. Then what is it about messaging and strategy that Republicans seem to win on this when they're not even offering anything?
You know, bluntly, Stephanie, it's the consultant class.
What does that mean?
I'll tell you what. They look at the polling. They say, Democrats, you're up on reproductive rights. You're up on voting rights. Talk about that. Don't talk about the economy. That may be a tough issue for us. Give me a break. I mean, look, I'm for codifying Roe versus Wade as our first vote. Second vote, let's have voting rights. But why not on third, fourth, fifth, sixth vote do the economy? And we need to talk about it and make the choice. You know, one of the things that's a problem is the same thing with Russia. We have no sense of nuance anymore in our politics. There's just the sense of you do one thing and you have to stick to that. We can talk about abortion, voting rights, and the economy. And we need to speak with our hearts as opposed to poll tested messages.
All right, then. Congressman, thank you so much for joining me tonight. Really good to see you. Great to have you here at 30 Rock.